I'm standing on the foredeck of the USS Freedom, tied up at the Changi Naval Base in Singapore. The Freedom is the first of a new class of US warship, and it represents Washington's renewed interest in the Asia-Pacific region. The shift in US strategy began in late 2011. It was first called the pivot, now a rebalancing towards the Asia-Pacific. Of course, the United States never ceased to be a Pacific power, but for many years its attention has been focused elsewhere, on wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. With one of those wars now over and the war in Afghanistan coming to an end, America is now turning its gaze back once more to the Pacific region as a whole. By 2020, about 60% of the US Navy will be operating in the Pacific. That's up from about 50% right now. And littoral combat ships, like the USS Freedom here, will play an important role in those missions. Agile, adaptable, able to operate in shallower coastal seas, the Freedom gives the US Navy capabilities in the region that it's never had before. With growing tensions in the region over maritime claims and disputed island groups, many countries welcome America's renewed interest, fearful at China's rising military might. But seen from Beijing, China views the US pivot with growing unease. For many there, it smacks of a policy of containment. Now, the Americans insist that the pivot towards Asia has economic, diplomatic dimensions as well, and that too much attention shouldn't be focused purely on its military aspects. But a rising China clearly isn't going to want to be contained. When the Chinese President Xi Jinping visits the United States next week, he's going to be searching for a new strategic partnership with the United States. But it's a partnership where the Chinese believe Washington is going to have to cede ground. While the United States says it wants to have more cooperation with China, there's no sign at the moment that Washington is willing to give up its role as dominant military player in the region. And that worries many analysts, who fear that growing suspicions, mutual suspicions, one side of the other, are leading to a situation where tensions are inevitably going to grow in a region which is already a maritime tinderbox.